Hey you guys, welcome back. Welcome if you are new. My name is Sam and welcome to my kitchen. Today's dinner is going to be super easy. We're going to cook half of it in the crock pot, the other half on the stove in the oven. It is the dog days of summer and I do not want to heat up my house a whole lot. So we're going to keep it pretty quick and easy today. I'm going to be making brown sugar chicken in the crock pot. It's going to take about 3 hours or so on high, but you can cook it on low for 4 to 6 hours. It just depends on the cooking temperature of your crock pot. We're also going to be making some stewed green beans. My daughter requested those. She absolutely loves stewed green beans, so we're going to make those. And I want some biscuits to go with dinner. I have been wanting biscuits for the last week, and I'm going to make some today. So it takes about 20 minutes or so for the biscuits to cook, so it's not going to heat up the house too much. So yeah, let me get everything situated and we'll get this started. All right, you guys, so hopefully you can see everything that I'm doing. I've got some chicken thighs in here. You can most certainly do chicken breast. I like chicken thighs, so we're going to do that. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to these. All right. We've got that in there. I've got some brown sugar here. Now, I found this recipe on Lemonade, but if you don't have Lemonade, I'm sure they have a recipe similar to this on Pinterest. I will try to leave both links, this one from Lemonade and one from Pinterest, so that way you can try it. If you don't want to look for it, just kind of guess with the measurements. I've just got some salt and pepper, and I've got some brown sugar here. And I'm just going to sprinkle this all over the top. I've got some garlic here, and I'm going to add, I've got a couple of small cloves here. Let me grab a knife. I can get this off, and I'm going to just squeeze this onto the chicken here. Add some more. I've got about 2 large cloves and 3 extra small cloves. So I would probably do about 2 tablespoons or so of garlic. That looks about good. Now that I've got that in there, I'm going to get my butter, and I'm just going to add a little bit of butter on the top of each one of these pieces of chicken. So I've got 5 pieces of chicken in there, so about 5 teaspoons or so of butter. Add however much you want. It's going to make a delicious sauce. We'll add an extra one for good measure. And that's it. Super easy. And I'm going to get my lid. Pop my lid on that. And I'm going to let this cook on high, like I said, for about 2.5, 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. I'll check it at the 2.5 hour mark. If it's done, we'll be good to go. If not, we'll let it cook for a little bit longer. Right when this is about done, I'll bring you back. We'll make some stewed green beans and some biscuits. All right, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and start the stewed green beans. I've got a delicious stewed green bean recipe on my blog. I'm just going to do it simple today. And I've got some bacon grease here. I'm going to add about a tablespoon. Now, the bacon grease adds a lot of flavor. I love adding bacon grease to my green beans. If I don't have any cooked bacon, bacon grease will do just fine. I've got a bag of fine green beans. You can use any kind of green beans that you want. I like using frozen because I'm going to cook this for a long time. If you don't want to use frozen green beans, just add a couple of cans of your favorite canned green beans and then let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes and it will work and be just as delicious. So I've got that in there. I'm going to add some water. And I'm going to add enough water to cover my beans because, like I said, this is going to cook for a long time. So that's about roughly 3.5, 4 cups of water. You can also do chicken broth if you want, like the boxed or canned chicken broth. Homemade chicken broth will work fine. I'm using the Knorr brand chicken broth. I have it on hand all the time. It's just easy to keep in my pantry. So I'm going to use probably about a tablespoon. If you're using homemade chicken broth, you can season it however you want. This is pretty good for us with the bacon grease and the Knorr brand chicken broth. I will check for seasoning later and add whatever else I need to add. So I'm just going to let this come up to a boil, turn this down to low, and let this simmer for about 30 minutes to an hour. Just depends. Like I said, you can do canned green beans. They will work just fine. I would just dump the entire can in there and add your bacon grease and whatever kind of seasoning you want, water, chicken broth, whatever, and then bring that up to a boil, turn it down to a simmer, and let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. It will be just fine and be delicious. I'm going to let this go about 30 minutes, and then we'll make some biscuits. All right, you guys, it is starting to thunder and rain outside, so if you hear any thunder, I'm sorry, it's pretty loud. We're going to go ahead and start on the biscuits. In here, I've got 2 cups of sifted self-rising flour, and I'm going to add some buttermilk. You can do regular whole milk if you want. I'm going to do about a cup of buttermilk. If I need any more, I'll add some water. And I've got some lard here, and it's melted. It's not hot. It's just warm, just enough to melt the lard. So I'm going to add, this is about 2.5 tablespoons. I'm going to use 3/4 of this, and then the rest I will brush on the tops of the biscuits once we get them in the pan. And I'm just going to mix this together until a sticky dough forms. Now, we would typically call these drop biscuits because you just mix them until a really stiff or like a stiff sticky dough forms. And you want to mix it until all of the lumps are pretty much gone. If you need more flour, you can add more flour. If you need more water, you can add more water. You just want to just be mindful of how much you add, liquid that you add, so you don't get a super loose sticky batter. You want it to be kind of thick. And just make sure you get all of the flour off of the bottom of the bowl and make sure it's well mixed. All right. Now, most of the lumps are pretty much gone, and we are ready to add this to our skillet. So I'm going to grab that and then we'll get these in there. All right, so I've got my skillet here. Move some things around. And I've already got this greased with a little bit of lard. And all you're going to do is just take a spoonful of your dough and plop it down into your skillet. I've got my oven preheating, or it's preheated to 425. And I like to put these a little bit closer together than I typically would my other biscuit recipe, because they need each other to rise a little bit. And if you have any of the dough left over, you can most certainly just add it to the tops of the other biscuits. Okay, I'm going to give my hands a little rinse, and then we'll top this with some lard. Okay, so I'm using a brush, but you can use a spoon. I'm just going to kind of lightly brush this over the tops of the biscuits. This will keep them from getting too hard in the oven. They do not have to be perfect. Like I said, they are drop biscuits, or what we call drop biscuits. So they don't have to be perfect. I'm going to put these in the oven at 425 for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I will show you what they look like when they get done. All right, you guys, so this has been cooking for about 2.5 hours, and it smells so delicious. I have got some sweet carrots that I canned last year. They are so good. I'm just going to add these in here. Now, these are already cooked. I just want to let these cook the last 30 minutes or so with the chicken. So I'm going to add those in there. I just drained and rinsed them. You can use any kind of cooked carrots that you want. If you are using fresh carrots, put them in when you start this, and they'll be good to go. So I'm just going to put the lid back on here, and I'm going to let this cook another 30 minutes. And then by that time, the beans should be done, the biscuits should be done, and this should be done, and dinner will be ready. So I'll bring you back when everything is good to go, and I'll show you my plate. All right, you guys, here are the green beans. Don't mind the dishes over here. I just got done doing dishes. So these cooked for about 40 minutes. Like I said, you can cook them however you want. So those are done. Here is the chicken. It smells so good. They cooked for about 3 hours, 15 minutes. Because I just kind of let them go while we were making everything else. And this smells so good. The carrots are warmed through. So that is good to go. And here are the biscuits. I just put them in a little bowl here. And they are so nice and fluffy. They smell so good. I love drop biscuits. They're so easy to make. I will put this recipe up on my blog and leave it linked down below for you guys. They're so easy. But that is everything done. I'm going to go ahead and make my plate and show you my plate. All right, you guys, here is my plate. I've got the green beans here, the carrots, the chicken. This chicken is so good. And then I've got my biscuit here. I left them a little bit too long under the broiler, but they're going to taste just fine. This is my plate. Looking good. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you are new. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.